Welcome to the MMA Killshot podcast from DFS Army. UFC 297, Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis for the UFC Middleweight Championship. Co-main event, also a title fight for the now vacant UFC Bantamweight title. It's Mayra Bueno Silva taking on Raquel Rocky Pennington. I am Sniper. That is Monk. Hit the like button. We're going to talk all things DraftKings betting. Just break down this card. Have some fun doing it. We got a break next week, which we just discovered here as we were talking about as we were leading into the podcast. Monk, what's your, let's just jump right in kind of before we break down the fights. What is your favorite fight of this card? For me, the people's main event is Movsar Evolev and Arnold Allen. Is yours the same, or you got a different people's main event?
No, that's the one that jumped out. I don't care about the people. This is my main event. I mean, I cut my own sentence off. I don't care about the people's main event. I just realized I said I don't care about the people. I don't care about the people's main event.
See mine. All of you out there, Monk says
just like, yeah, you. That's right. Come at me. No, I don't need that. Just like Ricky Simone and Martinez last week, or Batista last week. It's Evolev and Allen. As soon as I saw that, flagged it. That's my fight of the week.
All right, let's do it, guys. Let's jump right in. The main event, Sean Strickland, he's 8,200, taking on Dricus du Plessis. He's 8,000. You have to say his name like that, otherwise, I don't know, some South African man jumps out of a corner and beats the shit out of you. Line on this fight, it's pretty much a pick 'em as you would expect. Minus 115 for Strickland on DraftKings. Du Plessis is a minus 105. Monk, you took the main event last week, so yep. I will take it this week. Look, it is a close fight. For me, what I think the difference is going to be is that Sean Strickland's jab is just, it's world class. It's a volume jab, 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 jab. And he doesn't slow down. He doesn't get tired. Can he be knocked out? Sure. A couple guys have got him. Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos and Alex Pereira. I don't think that du Plessis has that kind of power. He's got some, and that's, I think, his path here is getting a knockout. But how du Plessis wins fights is, despite the breathing issues, whatever the hell is we're talking about, he wears guys down and takes over late. I don't think that's a real path here against Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's going to pump out 200 jabs at him. Now, the problem is, as we saw in the Strickland Cannonier fight, if Strickland just lands jabs and du Plessis lands big shots in each round, the judges might give it to du Plessis. It's entirely possible. But I don't think that du Plessis going to have success grappling. I think could land some power shots, but Strickland doesn't slow down. Du Plessis, I still over 5 rounds. We got to see what that's going to be like. I think Strickland is just going to use that jab and kind of cruise his way to a victory. It's not my strongest take of the card, but the way Strickland fights and the way du Plessis fights in DraftKings, you got to play every bit of this fight. It's got to be in damn near every lineup. It should be a stack and cash game is pretty easy, in my opinion. I'm going to pick Strickland straight up. I'll play both guys in terms of odds value. I actually think there is a little bit of value on Strickland at minus 115 if you're here for the betting content. I think the jab is going to be too much here. I can't believe I live in a world where Sean Strickland is the UFC middleweight champion and that I'm picking him to win a fight. But styles makes fights, and I think that volume jab is going to be enough here. So for me, it's Sean Strickland. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I'm going to agree. All week I've been trying to find a reason to pick Dricus, but like and you said something about if it goes to the judges, if du Plessis lands the better shots, he might get it. I don't think there's much of a path for a du Plessis decision, quite honestly. If this gets into, latter half of round 3, round 4, I think du Plessis, I mean, we'll see about the miracle nose surgery that he had before the Whitaker fight, but that one only went into the 2nd round, I believe. So I would be very interested in seeing what he looks like in rounds 3, 4 against a guy that is nonstop pressure like Sean Strickland. If he brings that game, Sean Strickland, then I don't know what du Plessis is going to do, to be quite honest. I think he could have moments 1st and 2nd round, but if he doesn't get Strickland out of there pretty much immediately, I just don't see how it's going to go well for him, to be completely honest. So I'm picking Strickland. I agree. I think there's a lot of value on the 8,200 salary. He is the cheapest underdog salary, and he hasn't always scored the best, but he's been relatively, he's got several fights into the hundreds. I mean, the Abus win, the Imavov win was a 5-round decision. He put up 117. I think he put up 144 against guys, some Uriah Hall, I do believe.
Yeah, it's the volume. He gets 5 rounds of volume.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Strickland at 8,200. He will. I don't mind him for cash, to be quite honest, especially in a kind of a filler spot. You know, he was the last guy I put in my cash lineup, so I really don't mind that at all. Some weeks it's a super bad punt play, and this week it's the middleweight champ Sean Strickland, so I will take that.
Let's move on to the co-main event. Mayra Bueno Silva, 8,600, taking on Raquel Pennington at 7,600. Line on this fight. Mayra Bueno Silva is -166 on DraftKings. Raquel Pennington, the comeback, is +140. Monk, you are first for this one.
Yeah, I'll keep this one pretty short. Raquel Pennington has a pretty good strength of schedule. She's fought the who's who of the division.
I'm going to say the exact opposite in about 1 minute. This is really funny.
But that was all back in the day. I mean, recently it hasn't been Amanda Nunes. It hasn't been Holly Holm or Misha Tate. It hasn't been anybody. It's been Marion Renault. It's been Macy Chiasson, and it's been Ketlin Vieta.
I'm going to derail you for 1 second because you're stealing some of my thunder, and we could just point it out together. Have you seen a weaker 5-0 UFC run that gets you a title shot? I'll go through the whole thing because you skipped over a couple names. The run is Marion Renault, not in the UFC anymore. Pannie Kianzad might be the best win of the fight.
Oh, it's 100% the best win.
Macy Chiasson. Oh, okay. Aspen Ladd, who's dropping fights left and right in PFL now, and Ketlin Vieira via split decision. And then you get a title shot. According
to the stats, if you just go on stats, she didn't even win the Kianzad fight. It was close, but Kianzad outpointed her. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. The fact that what Pennington's saying this week is kind of funny, but yeah, I'm picking Mayra Bueno Silva.
What is she saying?
I mean, she's just like, it's great that the world that Mayra Bueno Silva lives in, that she's going to beat me. But sounds like it's just like, Jesus, you're almost as bad as Juliana Pena, but no one is as bad as Juliana Pena. Never forget that. But yeah, I'm taking Mayra Bueno Silva here. I think she's going to probably finish the fight. If she doesn't, I think she's going to win a decision. As far as DraftKings goes, 8,600 is a great salary for her because honestly, this could be 9K, in my opinion, according to the line in my head. So yeah, Silva hasn't beaten the best competition either, but she did fight Manon Fiorot, and she beat Holly Holm in her last one. So yeah, give me Mayra Bueno Silva. I just think it's her time right now.
Yeah, like I said, we covered my breakdown on Pennington. Had his most very unimpressive UFC win streak to get you a title shot, whereas Bueno Silva has got Yana Wu's not great, but Stephanie Egger also not great. You know what? The problem is Holly Holm is a better win than anything on Pennington's record.
Exactly.
And the UFC bantamweight division is jeez.
Pennington fought Marion Renault in 2020. She was probably 40 years old in 2020.
Manon Fiorot is. Why is it Manon Fiorot in this fight?
She's fighting Erin Blanchfield in a couple weeks.
Oh, weight class. That's right. She's a flyweight. That's right.
Yeah, Silva moved up.
They all kind of blend together. That's right. What the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, so Mayra Bueno Silva. Pennington is her best path to victory is probably that grinding clinch game or takedowns, and we just saw her ninja choke Holly Holm. On the feet, Pennington might be more technical, but I think Bueno Silva's got more power and I don't know. I can't get behind Pennington. Even if she wins, Pennington has a way in 5 rounds. She's going to score like shit for DraftKings, even in 5 rounds. So this is not a stackable 5-rounder. No. I'm fine with Mayra Bueno Silva. She's a decent price. I think she's got a path to a finish. Yeah, Bueno Silva's the play, and I'm not going to overcomplicate it.
Yeah. Also, Pennington's almost 36, hasn't fought for a year.
It's really been. She's getting a title shot.
That was January 14th of 2023.
All right, we've already spent too much time on this. Next fight up, let's talk about the hometown guy, Mike Malott, 9,300, taking on Neil Magny at 6,900. Line on this fight. Malott is minus 360 on DraftKings. Neil Magny is plus 285. Luckily, Neil Magny fights are pretty easy to break down. He's the gatekeeper, the ultimate gatekeeper. If a prospect is real, then they beat Neil Magny. If they're not, Neil Magny beats the shit out of him. You've seen it time and time again. You just look at Neil Magny's resume and see what he's done here. I'm gonna do it real quick just because it's so black and white. All right, let's see. Ready? Is Robbie Lawler a real at the time in 2020? Is Robbie Lawler real? Yes.
Oh yeah.
So Magny actually Magny won that fight 2020. Robbie Lawler.
Oh.
Then you got Michael Chiesa. He lost that fight.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's Jeff Neal. I think Jeff Neal kind of got exposed with a hole in his game. Is Max Griffin real? Nope. So Magny beat him via split decision. Is Shavkat real? Yes. And Magny got pieced up. Is Daniel Rodriguez real?
Oh, you can't see it.
And we knew that one. So Magny wins. Is Gilbert Burns real? Well, fuck yeah, he's real. Magny loses. Is Phil Rowe real? No. Magny wins. Is Gary real? As much as I hate the little cuck? Yes. So,
maybe, probably.
I don't think he's champ. He's out of it. I can't wait for him to lose his fight. He's not going to be a champion, I don't think. And I can't wait for him to lose.
I know. It's going to be great.
It's going to be glorious. So anyway, it comes down to, is Mike Malott real? I think yes. And I think fighting at home, he's got the Darce choke win over Johan Lainesse, who we're going to talk about later. It's still a little hard to tell because you have, Mickey Gall win on here and Adam Fugit. So we don't have a real strength of schedule, but by the eye test, Malott's got power. He's a good striker. I think he can grapple just fine. Magny will have the range advantage and probably be the more technical striker. I just think that Malott's power and takedowns are going to be enough here. It's kind of a simple breakdown. I think he's a good enough prospect. If your eye test tells you, okay, Malott is not good, is not going to be a top 10 guy, then pick Neil Magny. That's the simplest way to break down Neil Magny fights. I lean towards that Malott is for real and is a good prospect in this division. Not sold on him being a champion yet. I would like to see Mike Malott versus Ian Machado Gary. Actually, sign me up for that fight. So hopefully Malott gets it done here. I do think it happens. I'm gonna have to mix in a little bit of Neil Magny and DraftKings because I'm not gonna let a Neil Magny vet lesson beat me. But I think Malott's actually live for a monster score with an early finish. I do like the kid a lot. So that's how I'm approaching this one. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think I'm picking Malott outright. I do think he probably gets a finish. Just not sure how he's going to score. I agree. I think he has potential to score very well. I mean, he's averaged 106.8, over 5 DraftKings points a minute without the bonus points since he started in the UFC. So fantastic numbers towards the top. Great power index, never been knocked down yet. What happens if this fight gets out of the first 7.5 minutes? That's kind of what I'm worried about. As far as Malott's scoring, somebody said that I think Malott decision was like plus 650 or something. That's somewhat interesting to me. Yeah, exactly. But I'm not going to you nailed it. Magny's the gatekeeper, 36 years old. Malott is he's not young, but he's right in the prime. He's not old, not young. Hasn't fought anybody yet in the UFC, but I agree with you. I think he might be the real deal. So give me Malott, probably inside the distance. I'm just a little concerned with how he scores.
Yeah, he needs to get it done early.
A lot.
All right, next fight up. Let's go. Chris Crybaby Curtis, 8,500, taking on Marc-Andre Barriault at 7,700. Line on this fight. Curtis is minus 185. Barriault is plus 155. Chris Curtis and I had a DM exchange once after he's a social media warrior. And I saw something I said, didn't like it, argue with me. I'm like, well, I'll talk to you about it in your DMs. This is why I said that. I think you did this, this, and this. We went back and forth for a little bit. And then I was, I put my point out in long form. I wrote it all out, and then he just didn't respond. He didn't like it. So
sounds exactly right.
So, I mean, look, for all, let's put it this way. You can say that against Kelvin Gastelum, that clash of heads cost him the fight. I can see that. I can get in his side. I can see him being upset about it. Sure. But then take equally the same against Nasruddin Imavov. He wanted a way out. You say, oh, he just happened last fight. No, he wanted a way out. He was losing that fight. He was going to lose that fight. He should have been on a loss. He should have lost 3 of his last 4 fights. That's the world we should win in. Yes, he beat Brendan Allen. That's clearly his best win. And Brendan Allen's a different fighter now than he was in 2021. Just is. So, yeah. Big old crybaby Curtis. Is he going to get the win against Marc-Andre Barriault? Monk, you were supposed to be first, but I have to go on my Chris Curtis rant.
No, yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think Marc-Andre Barriault is going to get it done here. I just don't. I think Chris Curtis is going to get himself back in the win column. We're talking about strength of schedule earlier. Barriault has a terrible UFC strength of schedule. Yes, he's 3-2 in his last 5. Here's his last 3 wins: Eric Anders, Julian Marquez, and Jordan Wright. Yeah, so I'm not too interested in Marc-Andre. Chris Curtis is going to do what he does. He's going to, counterpunch. That's pretty much his entire game. He's going to counterpunch and hope to land something that catches Barriault off balance, shuffle his feet up and, get him to the ground with a punch probably and try to finish it. That's how I see it going. I think he's going to win this fight. I don't mind Chris for cash. I just don't know how he's going to score. He's 8,500, so he's not too expensive. I think I had him in the cash lineup that I built yesterday. I'm going with Chris Curtis, man. I think he just does what he's just a counterpuncher, and I don't think Marc-Andre Barriault has the tools. He's no Jack Hermanson. He's no Kevin Gastelum. We'll just say that.
Yeah, but he's Canadian in Canada. Guess what? I'm picking Marc-Andre Barriault.
There's so many Canadians this week. So many. They can't all be.
There are. But look, here's the thing. I think Chris Curtis has gotten overhyped. I just do. Let's look at his record. Vieira can't go more than a round.
Sure.
Kelvin Gastelum lost. Jack Hermanson lost. Joaquin Buckley, to me, I think he's overrated too, but okay.
Yep.
Brendan Allen, different fighter. Phil Hawes sucks. And now we're back in XMMA. Kenny Robertson. Like, real quick. We got in there real quick. I know Marc-Andre Barriault isn't the best, but what does he have? He's got power. We've seen Chris Curtis on his ass a few times. Headbutt or not, whatever. Seen him knocked down. And pace and volume. And it's the kind of thing where I know he's a counterpuncher. I just think Marc-Andre Barriault is actually going to overwhelm him. Because when things aren't going Curtis's way, what does he do? He doesn't respond well.
No, he doesn't.
He does not. So I don't think he's going to do well in that dirty type of fight. Now, if he can keep it clean on the outside, you're probably right. And I'm not saying I'm going crazy here, but I am taking the dog. I got a few dog plays this week, especially in this range. Marc-Andre Barriault is the first one. It's a close fight. I'm going with the dog, who also, by the way, if he wins, is more likely to break the goddamn slate. Like, Chris Curtis can win, like you said, and put up 80 and whatever. Marc-Andre Barriault can put up 120. If he gets takedowns and volume, gets on top of Chris Curtis early, like, he throws a lot, he throws hard. I got he's a dog for a reason, but I'm not a believer in Chris Curtis. So give me Marc-Andre Barriault.
I'm not either. This fight sucks. I respect your take completely. I'd love nothing more than to see Curtis lose. It's just he loses to guys that, as he says, runs around. I don't know if Barriault's going to do that. Hopefully, it would be great to see him hit him with a power shot, though. I
would love to see fucking him unconscious. The guy was blinking. It's not allowed. Ass.
Gonna get
next
back.
Fight, we go to the people's main event. It's here. Movsar Evloev, 8,700, taking on Arnold Allen, 7,500. Line on this fight. I have to skip over Fight Odds still has Reyes Olberg up for I don't know what reason. Evloev is minus 192 on DraftKings. Allen is plus 160. I'm pretty sure. I think I saw it was you going opposite me here. I'm not on Arnold Allen. I know some people are. Here we go. The thing is, Arnold Allen, for me, has not faced a high level grappler recently. He just hasn't. Since he's made his run into the top 15, he's fought strikers. I think he's going to have a hard time with Movsar. And what's interesting is Movsar can choose to use his wrestling or he can't. But when he needs to, it's good. And I just don't think Arnold Allen is going to have an answer for it. I think Arnold Allen's going to pop up, but actually that's why I think that Movsar's going to score really well on DraftKings. Just those rinse and repeat takedowns. I think we could see a lot of them. Is Arnold Allen better in space? Sure. I don't think he's going to have space in this one. And I haven't seen him defend takedowns well enough against guys who know how to shoot takedowns. So for me, I'm on Movsar for this one. I like him quite a bit. But Monk, I know you're on Allen, so tell us why.
Sorry as I knock everything over trying to look something up. Well, it's
tell Sniper why he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, fucking get this shit out of here. Where's my keyboard? God damn it.
We're going to war.
No, it's exactly what you look. I love Movsar Evolev. I'm a huge DraftKings stats guy. This guy's made the optimal lineup in his past 1, 2, 3, 4 fights. I don't think anyone else has done that. I'll have to double check, but he's 4 for 4 since 2021. Extremely impressive stat right there. But like you said, Arnold Allen has not fought a high level grappler. Well, guess what? Movsar Evolev has not fought a high level striker. He's fought Mike Grundy, Nick Lentz, Hakeem Dawodu, who stunned him and had moments in that fight. Dan Ige, Diego Lopez, not one decent striker in the bunch. So the exact logic for Evolev, I'm going to use for Allen.
Dan Ige is a decent striker. He just can't take a jab.
Yeah, and Allen he took, let's see, what was it? 12 takedowns attempted against him, something like that. Makwan. Where is it?
Makwan Amirkhani.
Takedowns landed against, I don't know. I don't want to spend all day looking. 12. Makwan landed 4 of 12, and then his next fight, Mads Burnell, landed 6 of 12. Those were Arnold Allen's first 2 UFC fights. Since then, he has only, to your point, only had 12 takedowns attempted against him. He has stuffed them all. Also, he won those first 2 fights in which he was taken down several times, which you love to see from an early UFC start in his first 2 fights like Arnold Allen had. So I'm just going to turn it around and I'm going to go against my guy. I love Arnold Allen too, but for DraftKings, I mean, Evolev might as well be named Merab Dvalishvili the amount that I have played him in his past 4 fights, and I just don't see it, man. Diego Lopez had moments against him. I argued I've been a Diego Lopez hater, and I've had to change my mind on that. As I said, Dawodu's had moments.
You had that one wrong.
I got that one wrong. Dawodu's had moments against him. Arnold Allen could have many more moments against Evolev than those 2 guys I just named. So I'm going with Arnold Allen, 7,500. I think that's a fantastic salary. This fight should be way closer than it is, and I'm hoping to take advantage of that.
Fair enough. Different opinions. We'll see how it goes. Let's go to the next fight for the featured prelim. Brad Katona. I can't believe he's this high up on the card. How is this the featured prelim ahead of Jourdain Woodson or even Sidey Taveras? Whatever. Brad Katona is 8,800, taking on Garrett Armfield at 7,400. Line in this fight, Katona's minus 210. Comeback on Armfield plus 170. Monk, who you got?
Well, I have a feeling we're going to disagree here. It's Brad Katona for me, and I think he probably wins this, 7, 8 times out of 10, to be quite honest. Yeah, he hasn't fought anyone, but Garrett Armfield, I mean, he lost to David Onama, beat Kazama, who turned out to be not too good in that one. I just think it's Katona for me here personally. Looked decent against Cody Gibson, ended up scoring 96, at $8,500 that week. He is $300 more expensive. Only lost to Hunter Azure, not a great loss, and Merab Dvalishvili in his last 5. So the Merab loss, we can just throw that one out. So I'm just going with Brad Katona. I just think he has more ways to get it done here. And I just think his cardio is probably better as well. The strength of schedule, while it is bad, it's probably 10 points, or it is 10 points better than Armfield's UFC strength of schedule. So give me Brad Katona. 8,800 is quite a bit of money to pay for him. So I'll maybe a little bit in cash, some GPPs. I could probably see myself playing 10 to 15% of Armfield though in GPPs.
So answer me this. In what fight did Brad Katona look impressive?
I mean, he hasn't really looked super. I mean, he did land 160 strikes in his last fight. That's probably the most impressive one.
I don't know. He doesn't against Cody Gibson. Okay. I know Garrett Armfield, but 7,400, this price tag. The way Katona fights, everything is grindy clinch or even exchange, counter for like he doesn't pull away from anybody. He just doesn't. I don't know. At least when Armfield, you know, I saw him starch Kazama. I saw him knock out Graham. And I'm trying to. That was the fight in. You know, we go back. He's got on the regional scene. He's got finishes, right? He finishes people. Katona, even on the regional scene, decision, majority decision. You know, his last finish was 2021 against Borislav Nikolic and Brave. And before that, it was in the 5 fights before that. No, that doesn't count. That was Ultimate Fighter. 2017. Dude doesn't, like, those are guys you should be running over. He doesn't put a stamp on fights. And I feel like Armfield will have bigger moments in this fight, unless he's completely whitewashed and Katona takes over and borings the fight up. Could happen. But in terms of if they fight even, Armfield has the bigger moments. I think Armfield's got tricky grappling. I think his striking's fine. Katona probably is just a little bit better everywhere. Just a little, though. Not like a huge margin. But I think Armfield's more likely to have the bigger moments, and he's so much cheaper. I can see the judges giving it to him, and he's more likely to get a finish. Give me the shot on the underdog. I'm going with Garrett Armfield to pull this one off. I don't have much interest in Katona on DraftKings, if that's what we're talking about, because I got Evolev right there, Sidey later, who we're going to talk about, Jourdain later, and that's really, you know, Bueno Silva's right near there. Like, even Lainesse, we're going to talk about, like, who am I playing? Who am I going? Oh, Brad Katona, that's who I'm playing over any one of those people.
Yeah, he's in no man's land.
I would even rather play the crybaby Chris Curtis than Brad.
Oh yeah.
And I'm picking against Curtis. So why? Give me Armfield. Moving on, we're going Charles Air Jourdain at 9,000, taking on Sean Sniper Woodson, and it's sad. He's a 7,200, and it's sad because I have to pick against somebody named Sniper. DraftKings, Jourdain is -218. Woodson is +180. Look, Jourdain's just better everywhere. He just is. He's a better striker, better grappler. But Woodson is long as fuck and has some power. So if Jourdain, as he's trying to close the distance, walks onto something, Woodson could get a knockout. He's live. But skill for skill, Jourdain's better. I know another Canadian fighting at home, but Jourdain's the type of guy to feed off that energy. Big power. I've seen Woodson be in some wars that against guys he should have smashed. Give me Jourdain. I'm not going to overthink it here. I want value-wise, no part of Woodson. In GPPs, I'll take a shot because, like I said, the way Jourdain fights, he's live for a knockout. I would rather play, you know, we're going the ranking thing again. I would rather play Woodson over somebody like Pennington, over who else down in this range. I would play Woodson over Viana and Pennington and probably Magny. For me, Arnold Allen, I know not for you. Just because I feel like if the only way to me that Woodson wins is he catches Jourdain coming in and puts up a big score. Because I don't think he's going to decision him to death. I guess just not. So for me, Woodson's a secondary option, but I am, don't make no mistake in what I just said. I'm all about Jourdain in this fight. Monk, who you got?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think Woodson is a fine punt play for 10%, 15% of that, you know, basically what his odds would be for a knockout. Probably a little worse than the odds, actually. But yeah, Jourdain here. I mean, what are the odds are far greater that Jourdain guillotines Sean Woodson than it is Sean Woodson knocking out Jourdain, in my opinion. Woodson, his strength of schedule is one of the worst on the card, and we're talking UFC strength of schedule. Lost to Julian Erosa, who's only been knocked out in every fight, beat Yusuf Zalal, Colin Anglin. Luis Saldana was a draw, if you remember, one of the lowest fight IQ fights in all of 2022, if not since. And then walked all over Dennis Bazukia, but didn't finish him. 3-round decision. Meanwhile, Jourdain's out here subbing Ricardo Ramos, beating Crone Gracie. That's probably not saying a lot. Lando Venata. So, you know,
the Ramos win is a good win.
Yeah, the Ramos win is a great win. I meant strictly the Gracie win is not much to speak on. But yeah, Charles Jourdain, super exciting fighter. He's in at home. I think Sean Woodson, basically, like you said, his only path is probably a knockout finish in which Jourdain overextends himself, does something stupid or greedy. But I also don't see that happening anymore. Jourdain has looked much, much better in every single fight. He's doing less and less of the stupid shit and more of the killer instinct shit, which
more
I
and more of the
love.
good shit.
Yes, which we love to see. So give me Charles Jourdain. I mean, we're talking, who you want to pay $8,800 for Katona? Just put up an extra 200 and get this guy. I mean, there's so many other options. I picked Katona, but there's so many other options around, and Charles Jourdain is definitely one of them. This dude's fought 8 times since 2021. This is his 9th fight. That's got to be up there with some of the most.
Moving on. Names I can't say. Is it Serhi Sidey? I can't.
I'm hearing Serhi Sidey.
Sari Sidey. Thank you. That's one of those I looked up when I was researching the fight at the start of the week, and then by the time you go to record, I go, "Oh fuck, I forgot how to say it." I've been saying it in my head a different way. Serhi Sidey. He is. Oh, I trapped my cat in the office. I'm gonna go fix that in a second. Poor fucker. He's 9,000. Taveras is 7,300. Sorry, Sidey is 8,900. Line on this fight. Sidey is minus 185. Comeback on Taveras is plus 155. Interesting backstory here. They fought on Contender Series. Sidey won via knockout. It was an early stoppage for sure. Still looked good. Dropped him, but early stoppage. Taveras goes, gets another Contender Series fight a month later, wins in 30 seconds, and they rematch him here in the UFC. So I like the rematch here. Monk, who you got in it?
Yeah, it's gonna be Sari Sidey for me. This dude Taveras. Yeah, he got dropped in 1 minute, and yes, it was an early stoppage, but he still got rocked and dropped in the Contender Series. Then yes, he did go out and beat someone in 40. You know who that was? Cortavius Romeus. I mean, that should hurt your strength of schedule to even fight that guy. So yeah, if you're telling me it's a rematch between Contender Series guys, first of all, I'm like, who cares? Second of all, I'm like, wait, one of them knocked the other one down in a minute. I'm picking that guy, so I'm going with Sari Sidey.
And the guy who did it is supposed to be the grappler in this matchup.
Exactly. I'm going with Sari Sidey. I mean, in his extremely short, just that fight, he scored. Who cares? He outscored this dude completely. Taveras' numbers are all jacked up because he fought Cortavius Romeus, who did an interview on my other channel that I do stuff on. And he was wearing a is a black ski. I know it's not a ski mask, but it's like had during the interview.
Say right now, it went to a weird direction on me.
Well, he did the whole interview on our channel where he was wearing, I forget what they call it, but it was like the ski mask with the face. You could only see his eyes, and he did like a 30-minute interview indoors with that on. So I was just like, man, that I really wish we could see your face so we know who to root for in the fight. And then he went out and got absolutely starched in 40 seconds. So my point of all that crazy side path is I don't value Ramon Taveras too much with that win. So give me the guy who knocked him down in a minute in Sari Sidey.
Yeah, I will say just really high variance fight. GPP only is in on DraftKings. I will say that I like Sidey as well. I think he can grapple. Clearly, he could strike fine. I mean, Taveras is whenever I watched a few of his fights, he's just a boxer. Doesn't throw any kicks. At this level, give me the guy who's more well-rounded, can grapple, can kick. Already knocked you down. I'm on Sidey as well, and I'll mix in both guys. This is probably one where I'm going to play a little bit of both guys in GPPs and move on about my day.
Yep, exactly.
Let's go next fight up. Let's talk Jillian Robertson. She's 9,100, taking on Polyana Viana at 7,100. Robertson minus 300. Comeback on Viana is plus 235. And we have a grappler's delight. I love fights like this. I like grappling. If you don't like grappling, go watch boxing. Leave me the fuck alone. And I can admit when people are just lying on each other, and that's a bit much. But grappling, it's good stuff. If you don't like it, you're watching the wrong sport. But anyway, both these women like to grapple. It's the same as every fucking Polyana Viana fight, I feel like. Well, she's dead to an armbar. I know she's gotten a knockout, but usually, how many times have we said Polyana Viana's got to get an armbar or she's toast?
How many times has she fought?
And she got subbed last time out by Yasmin Lucindo. She lost to Tabitha Ricci. Like, she's been subbed by Veronica Hardy. Look, Jillian Robertson does not like to be hit. However, she's much bigger than Viana. She's physical. She can wrestle and grapple. She's got heavy top pressure, and she's a black belt too. I don't think, it's just she's going to get on top and just grind out Viana over 3 rounds or eventually find a submission. And just Viana's got to work her way for a submission, even on the feet. I guess, I don't know. I still would favor Robertson because she hits harder, just she doesn't take a strike well. So Viana would be live on the feet, I guess, but they both want to grapple. I don't see a world in which Jillian Robertson doesn't get this fight to the ground, or they get to the ground and maybe Viana, aside from the armbar, maybe during a takedown, Robertson makes a mistake and Viana ends up on top. I just think Robertson's top game is so good. I think she wins here. I think she puts up a decent score. I'm back on the Jillian Robertson Red Storm train. I love me some grappling-based fights, and this is one up in that range. What's interesting here, what's really interesting, is everyone's going to be on Jasudavicius, who we're going to talk about. Mike Malott, Charles Jourdain. Those are your other 9,000 and up fighters. Jillian Robertson's going to go overlooked and has a pretty clear path to a finish here. Get me overweight, and I'm going to feel good. Like if I'm considering ownership, if I can play Malott or Robertson, I would play Robertson. I think Robertson's the better GPP play when you include ownership. And I could almost argue the same about Charles Jourdain. I can almost argue she's the best 9K play on the board, actually, just because no one's going to own her, I don't think. Now, I don't listen to other people's stuff until maybe the morning of fights when I'm on a run or waiting for my daughter to get a ballet practice or whatever it may be. I tend to try and ignore the other stuff. So, and I rely on our ownership projections for that. So, DFS Army members, and if you're not, join, link down below. We'll see what the ownership is. Maybe I'm off, but if the ownership is where I think is Robertson, which I'm thinking 15 to 20%, and I'm bad at ownership, so we'll see what it is. That's my guess. If it's 15, I'll be double easy. And I'll sacrifice some Jasudavicius, Malott, and Jourdain lineups. Monk, how about for you?
100%. I thought this was a hot take on this show for me this week, but I think Robertson, I agree, the best 9K option in my opinion. She has the best chance of having the highest score.
Maybe my ownership is wrong.
No, I don't think so. I think you're spot on, and I just think maybe for once I'm smart enough to see it. Maybe we're both smart enough to see it. You know what I mean?
Watch Viana win in 40 seconds.
Exactly. That's all I'm thinking of. I have that on loop while I'm talking. It's just her grabbing that arm. But I completely agree, man. I don't know. Both of them want to get the fight to the ground. And yes, occasionally we have seen grappler versus grappler be a completely ugly stand-up fight. Mostly it's men that happens with, to be quite honest. I don't think it's going to happen here.
Get your ass to the ground.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to I don't think that's going to happen here, man. I'm going Robertson is much better in my opinion. And she's almost 3 full years younger than Polyana Viana. Can you believe that? She's only 28 years old. She'll be 29 in May. And this girl has, I don't even know how many UFC fights. Where's a bunch? 15 UFC fights, guys. She's 28 years old. 106 points per win. When Viana wins, she has great numbers as well. But when Viana wins, I mean, she's beaten freaking cans, dude. Jinyu Fry, Mallory Martin, Emily Whitmire. Who the fuck? Her strength of schedule is almost as bad as Sean Woodson's, and that is saying something. So give me Jillian Robertson. I think she's probably better everywhere. I think she's technically better. And I think she finishes Polyana Viana and scores very well at 9,100. I think you're right. 15 to 20% ownership. And I'm going to be, if it's 20, I'll be double that. You said double 15. I might have her 40 fucking %. I'll
be in that range. Yeah. Next fight up, Johan Lainesse. Man, I did not relook at names. I clearly researched this card bottom up and just did not look at names again. Fuck. You host a podcast, sniper, motherfucker. Taking on Sam Patterson. He's 7,800. Johan. Remember the Johan? Zohan? Just call him that for now. Minus 145. Comeback on Patterson is plus 115. Patterson is fresh off a visit to the Shadow Realm. Monkey's going to bounce back from that?
I don't think so. And yeah, you can definitely remember Johan Lainesse because he's the guy that beat. Sorry, while you were talking, my Excel crashed, and so I'm just vamping while it reopens. He beat Darian Weeks and scored 39.9 in a decision win. Do you know, Sniper, that you get 30 points for a decision win in DraftKings, which means this dude scored 9.9 points in 15 minutes. I mean, that's almost impossible to do. He also lost to Gabe Green, Mike Malott. Just kind of funny, he scored 39.91. If you add up his those two losses, he also scored 39.91. It's just kind of interesting there. So I think Johan Lainesse is cursed. But in this fight, we might break the curse, man. This dude, Sam Patterson, longest neck in the UFC, lost to, and not only the longest neck, but what's he looking at up there? Are his eyes and his chin, like, this dude's chin is higher than a lot of things I probably can't that just came into my head that I can't say on this show. But yeah, long story short, man, Lainesse to me at a favorite salary of 8,400 is such a shit DraftKings player that I'm considering him a dart throw as a favorite. So 10 to 15% Lainesse, maybe a little bit more. But dude, what do you really want to get burned because you played too much Lainesse and then he either goes to decision with this dude or worst case scenario gets flatlined by Sam freaking Patterson? No, I don't want that to happen to me. I'll probably have 15% of each of them and just wipe my hands of this.
Well, here's the thing. You kind of laid out the case why I'm picking Sam Patterson.
I mean, there it is.
You kind of laid it out. Look, he did take an extended vacation to the Shadow Realm, but he's more technical. I think he's a grappling advantage here. I will say Lainesse is actually a solid GPP option. I higher on him in GPPs for the reason that Sam Patterson did visit the Shadow Realm. And remember, before Lainesse was this no volume fighter, he came out like a fucking shit brick house moron. Like he threw everything away in the first round. And he overcorrected and didn't throw anything. At some point, he's going to figure it out. I can't pick him here. I actually think so. There's a possibility he reverts back off of that bad performance and throws crazy again and tries to knock out Patterson.
That's what we just said about Johnny Walker last week.
True. So while I'm picking Patterson, I think Lainesse is live. Sure, live in the mid range. I mean, there's more guys.
Agreed.
I would play Lainesse over Chris Curtis personally.
In GPPs, yeah.
So, but I have to pick Patterson. Just don't get knocked out. I think he wins the fight. I do think he's better. I know we got that vicious knockout against Ashmuz, who is actually better. He's better than I thought he was, for whatever that is worth. He's not as bad as I thought. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll with Sam Patterson here to pull off the mini upset. Next fight up. Oh, I get the pleasure of breaking this down. Oh, joy. Jasudavicius, 9,500, taking on Priscilla Cachoeira. I actually hate the last fight more. So you know what? We could talk about that. God, I hate the last fight. Cachoeira, 6,700. Line on this fight is Jasudavicius is minus 380. Priscilla's plus 300. Jasudavicius, bigger, stronger, gonna grapple. Priscilla can't stop takedowns. Throws like a crazy person. As long as Jasudavicius doesn't go full moron and try and stand with Priscilla, she wins. If she does that, Priscilla will knock her out. That's the only thing about when you quick go to fade the cheapest fighter on the card. She actually has a pretty clear path to victory, and I know it's one in which the other fighter just makes a mistake. But if Jasudavicius even tries to play with her striking, I wouldn't do that. I can shit on Priscilla all you want. I've seen her knock people out. I see it. That's the problem. Is I have Jasmine as one of my most confident plays on the card because there is no world in which if she fights smart, she loses. But I don't 100% trust her. They're both live for big scores. Do not full fade Priscilla. Just don't. I know it's crazy. Play Priscilla more than you play Neil Magny. For me. Like, more than you play. I don't know. That's probably a bit much. You don't got to go crazy. Just mix in 5 to 10%. Sprinkle her in.
Yeah.
Just don't go 1% or fade her because If Jasudavicius tries to strike, she's going to end up unconscious. And you're going to be sitting there going, oh, second fight in, and I'm 0-2 in my lineups because, or the first fight, let's not even talk about. We're going to in a second. But the first two fights, the first fight is super variant. And this fight, I'm relying on fight IQ. We'll see what happens. But yeah, give me Jasmine, who should win via grappling, get on top, domination. Monk.
Agreed. Give me Jasmine, who should win via grappling. The problem is she's $9,500, guys. She's only been a DraftKings favorite once in her career. That was against Natalia Silva, and she lost that fight. The rest of the time, she was 7,400, 78, 69, and 8,000. And now she's 9,500. Yes, Priscilla is a very interesting fighter. We'll say that. That gives up a ton of DraftKings points per minute and per loss, almost 5 points a minute and over 110 per loss. But Jasmine, I mean, she scores very well per minute, 3.42 points. She ends up with 92 points per win, guys. 92. You're not even 10xing that number at 9,500. She's a decision fighter. That's all. I mean, she's just been a decision, and she's fought scrubs too. She's fought Kay Hansen and went to decision with Kay freaking Hansen. So I don't think that it's a guarantee that she's going to go out there and finish Cachoeira. Probably more of a decision, especially it's just going to be like takedowns and tons of control time. And if we don't see a finish, yeah, she could break 90, but what does that really do for us at 9,500? So I'm going to be not as high on Jasudavicius as I'm sure a lot of other people will. And I agree with you completely. 5-10% of Cachoeira is probably in my game plan.
So we have to go to the next fight. All right, let's do it. Let's go to the next fight. Malcolm Gordon, 8,300 and at a fucking ridiculous minus 220. Taking on Jimmy Flick at plus 185. Okay, Monk, you go first before I probably explode. And I'm going to.
I mean, I guess put both of these guys in your GPP lineups. Don't play this in cash. Actually, that's not true.
Here's the problem. Gordon's at minus 220.
Yeah, he's minus 220, so tons of value. I actually am playing Gordon in cash.
But what if the wind blows and knocks him out?
Yeah, 8,300 is crazy low. It should be probably wider, but Gordon has no chin. And Jimmy Flick doesn't throw strikes and also has no chin. So I don't think Jimmy Flick's gonna win. I can't tell you why. I honestly can't. I don't think he's gonna win. I think Gordon's going to get it done here. I think he's going to knock Flick out, and I think he's going to score extremely well. Like, this is just one of those fights. It's a complete shit show. Low-level MMA for sure. Are we really going to pick against Malcolm X the week of Martin Luther King Jr. Day? I'm not. I'm not. Give me Malcolm Gordon. We're right in the middle between Black History Month and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And this dude's name is Malcolm X. I'm against a guy that does know how to punch. I'm taking Malcolm X.
God, this line.
Jimmy Flick sucks, bro.
So does Malcolm Gordon, and that's why I'm mad. Is that I had to deal with this shit. This opened up at minus 119, and you're telling me this line has moved $1. It's moved $1 in Malcolm Gordon's direction. Look, that's even if he should be the favorite, fine. $1?
James Krause is licking his lips like a cartoon wolf somewhere right now.
This line screams. It fucking screams pre-fight injury. I'm hoping it gets called off. Like, it just how do you not think, well, Jimmy Flick's fucking hurt? And remember, he retired 3 fights ago. He won his UFC fight and was like, I'm done. And then he came back.
Yep.
Probably because he needs money. Fine. Didn't look like the same fighter at all. And now this line tells me he's probably fighting injury, probably because he needs money. Now I'm reading a lot into it. And after all that, I still have to pick this motherfucker. Like, oh, God. Look, I think Jimmy Flick is the better wrestler, in my opinion. I think that's where this fight should go. He has the wrestling advantage, and if they stand and strike, Malcolm Gordon's chin, I think, falls off. But I'm not confident, especially with the odds at plus 180. If you're lying, if you got Malcolm Gordon at minus 120, good bet. If you're
Right.
laying, if you're laying Malcolm minus 220 on Malcolm Gordon,
Seek help.
slide into my DMs to take other wagers that I may want.
Type betterhelp.com into your search bar.
This fight has got me twisted. It just does. Play both guys.
Yep.
You want to play Gordon and Cash? I'm gonna be looking at my cash line. I'm going motherfucker.
I have the weirdest cash lineup
It's
that I've ever made. Probably. I have one underdog. Where the fuck did it go?
I mean, the cash build real quick. It's probably click on that.
Well, before you give it out, I went Sidey at 89, Bueno Silva, Chris Curtis, Malcolm Gordon, Sean Strickland, and Arnold Allen.
Real quick, I bet you the chalk cash build is probably people go one of those. So let's see. Hang on, I'm doing it real quick, and then I'll read it out. Just real quick. What is the herd gonna do? Probably that, and then probably
the herd. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be Malott. It's going to be Evolev. It's going to be du Plessis.
It's probably, I'm into a little trouble with the last spot here. Oh, where's this dog? Where is, I would bet the herd goes something like Strickland, du Plessis, stack. Oh, I forgot about, Myra Bueno Silva. Oh, I know it'll be. I found it. Not Evolev though, which is the miss. Maybe. If I had to guess, and this is totally just me guessing, guys, it's Strickland, du Plessis, Jasudavicius, Malcolm Gordon's odds value, co-main event favorite Myra Bueno Silva, and then your plug and play last spot is Garrett Armfield against Katona, because Katona's not likely to finish.
I think that's a good guess. I don't have any of those really.
Probably.
Well, maybe Silva.
It's probably what it is, but who fucking knows? And I'm glad we spent some time doing that instead of talking about Gordon and
Jimmy the Brick.
Oh god, I should probably trim that and post it somewhere because motherfucker.
What a fight, dude.
Just fuck that fight. And the problem is you got to play because you're gonna be dead after the first fight.
Yep.
So anyway, that's my take on those are my take on that awesome fight. But overall, we did have a really solid card.
Yeah.
Let's do what the fuck? Trying to do my bookmark. There we go. Let's do kill shots now. Kill shots for UFC 297. If you're not familiar, first hit the like button. Welcome. So we do an under-owned play. So it can't be they're typically underdogs, but it can be a favorite. Someone who's going to be low owned on DraftKings who can break the slate, help you win it all. For me, it's Garrett Armfield, picking him straight up over Katona. Yeah, pretty simple if you read in. You know who it's not? It's not Malcolm Gordon.
No, he probably doesn't count this week, actually.
No.
I'll go $100 more. I told you twice, not you, but you, the royal you, that I'm only picking one underdog, and I'm fucking sticking to my guns, baby. Arnold Allen. Evolev has not fought a striker like him yet, and we'll see. Allen should have just been, stuffing takedowns for fucking 6 weeks. So let's see. We'll just see. Either way, my favoriteest fight on the entire card. Won't be mad at whoever wins. Love both of these guys.
We have to come up with some kind of like ongoing bet for this podcast, like a t-shirt bet, or I'm not doing shoeies. I don't
drink, so
we got to come up with some kind of bet. I don't want to do we did. We should do. I had a t-shirt bet with Sun Tzu once. We should both get the same embarrassing t-shirt, stick it in our closet. You lose the bet, you got to pull it out the next week.
There we go. I like that.
All right, we will discuss offline. We gotta
meet at Spencer's Gifts and figure out and pick one.
So we'll figure that shit out. Those of you new or returners, just do me a favor, hit the like button, tell your friends about the podcast. It's free. It's free. Soon Geek is going to come back, talk about all kinds of nonsense. We'll be here for an extra hour, but my whole mission when he comes back is to just side rail him and make him say the wildest stuff.
I'll be on board with that.
And it'll be easy, but at hour 40, I'm going to be like, hey, Geek, what do you think? The Malcolm X comment is the perfect thing to derail him to talking about. I know he's a big Wu-Tang Clan fan.
There we go.
We can get him talking about Wu-Tang and shit.
I'll wear my Wu-Tang stocking hat next week if it's cold.
Totally
Perfect.
do that. All right. Anything else for UFC 297 before we get out of here?
No, really excited for this one. It's a great entry into the pay-per-views before we get 298 banger, 299 absolute banger, and 300, the king of the bangers, it seems like. So this is a great first step.
Absolutely ready to do it. Thanks for joining us, guys. Monk, nice talking to you as always.
Likewise.
Good luck in whatever contest you're playing. Unless you take one of my head-to-heads, then fuck you. And I'll see you next time.